Okay. As usual, tes tes 1, 2, 3, Echo. As usual, tes tes 1, 2, 3, Echo. Hey, the Echo is here. Wait. As usual, tes tes 1, 2, 3, Echo. Hey, the Echo is here. Wait. As usual, tes tes 1, 2, 3, Echo. Hey, the Echo is here. Wait. As usual, tes tes 1, 2, 3, Echo. Nah, I'm gonna make the music bigger. Ah, wait. This should be okay. That should be okay. So, welcome back to the channel, guys. And today we have the patch preview. Yes, 3.4.15 details. But first, I do want to watch the Dislyte one. Yay, there it is. Dislyte come out with a new video. I haven't even.
Hey guys, I'm here.
I just got home. And you know, I saw this in the Dislyte channel, so we gotta take a look at the character here, the new version preview. So let's go. Vital.
Join me and enjoy the fruits of victory.
Before it is, see him in the story.
Insubordination must be punished.
Wow, nice. And there was the guy that I mentioned 2 months ago that he's gonna be really OP. So tonight we gonna see his actual skills. And Mingshuo, this is the winged guy, the bird guy, the one that we saw in the picture, the one in the bottom left corner. I mentioned that he is very much gonna be like, you know, mainstream meta. Like he's gonna be you know, pretty straightforward, dealing straightforward damage, like I mentioned that. And so after this video, we're gonna take a look at my video in 2 months ago, and we will see if my prediction was correct. So let's see.
Got
It's a Thunderbird
for you.
What the fuck? Is he a mailman?
Nothing's gonna get in my way.
Okay. Well, they are both a Chinese god, right?
Insubordination.
And
Nothing's gonna get in my way.
And they are both from Chinese mythology. So usually, most of the time, Dislyte gonna release an OPS for like this is already like how to say a public secret. You know, like Dislyte always put the OPS for on the Chinese gods. Like that's what other people are thinking. You know, they already caught on to that. So we already knew. All of us knew that. You know, if it is a Chinese mythology god, it's gonna be something really OP. So let's go. Okay, this is the story as usual, the trial and Redux is back. So we're gonna see if we can put Vital in the Redux. And ooh, vehicle expedition. What is this? Torch Dragon has got the phase 4 has begun. Get the final hex and win amazing reward. Wow. Have we ever encountered this before? I don't know. I need to look not only the thumbnail. I need to see the actual monster. Like have we actually faced this monster? It's the one that is inside the story. Wow, nice. That is the dragon that is inside the story, the one in the what is it called? The miracle trial? Yeah, the miracle trial. The fusion. Oh my god, it's a free simmer! Wingsuo! Ooh! Well, it is a plus and minus. Like, we thought, like, if it is a free shimmer, like Everett, when Everett first came out, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be not as strong as the other legendary shimmer, but it is also gonna be above the average other legendary, you know, like, because it is still a shimmer. So it is going to be stronger than the Inferno, Flow, and the Wind Legendary Esper, but it's not going to be as good as the other Legendary Shimmer that you need to gacha your way to get them. And it applied for Everett, but that is because Everett came out very underwhelming. You know, and after that, we already seen that Everett got reworked and getting buffed, and he is actually quite good nowadays. But that is one of the shimmer that came out. But I thought that it's gonna be like that. If it is a free shimmer, then it's gonna be, you know, just in between. But it all changed when they released Moroyama, because we already analyzed Moroyama, and the skill set is OP. And it is really strong, insanely strong. I even decided to just drop every other Shimmer Esper just to get him to Resonance 1. Just because of his ability, you know, his strength. And so that makes that the idea of the Esper Fusion giving us like free shimmer is like, you know, just so-so, is no longer applicable. So now Wingsuo, we don't know whether this is gonna be OP or not. We will see in the patch notes later when we take a look at his skills, whether he is OP or not. But this is good. Like, everybody gonna be able to have him. So we're gonna need Jin Yu Yao, Yun Chuan, Lian, Brewster, Jin Chu, and Leora. So I definitely won't be able to pull him. Why? Why must it be Leora? I don't have Leora, you know. I don't know if my Lian is already Resonance 1 or not. I'm pretty sure my Yun Chuan is already Resonance 2. Jin Yu Yao, I think it's Resonance 2. Brewster, I already at Resonance 6. Jin Chu, I'm still at Resonance 0. So Leora, I still don't have. So I won't be able to get Wingsuo in my main account. That's too bad. But for those of you who can get him, this is a free legendary shimmer. So I don't know, I'll probably gonna need to aim for all these Esper first, you know, just to get my hand on Wingsuo. But then again, I will see in the PTR testing later. If he is not that of a must, then I'll just take my sweet time on collecting him. Even until now, I think Moroyama can still be acquired from the Esper Fusion, right? Like, there is no time limit for this. So hopefully there is also no time limit for him later on. So we'll see. Kayaknya nggak harus pakai server just selain mereka bisa aja. Oh, maybe, yeah, maybe. But I don't know. Like, they showed this picture. I don't know if we can use it. Maybe we can use under Esper. Just like in Moroyama, I chose to use Epic Esper to reset back to 0 to get Moroyama. Just because I have the epic, a ton of epic Abilimon that I can have no problem like getting them back to all full Abilimon. But yeah, look at that. Liking him. Let's take a look at him. Vitao. Yeah.
Join me and enjoy the fruits of victory. Insubordination must be punished.
Damn, that looks really cool. But yeah, I already mentioned in my previous live stream that I love him. I even love him more because of his master strategist occupation. And we're gonna take a look at this. You know, this was my video from 2 months ago. Let's take a look at what I said back then, and we will see whether it comes true or not now. Just for an example, you know, But this one is also a different guy. He has a koi.
Let me look around.
Usually this kind of guy have a koi is like either a magician or a support. And then there is also this dark guy at the back here. I'm liking his design. Like he might be the one with the book. It looks like Necronomicon, but I don't know if the book belongs to this guy or this guy here. So I'm thinking the koi and the book, the holder of the book and the koi will be very much important. Like this is just my guts feeling, you know. I usually see like underrated Esper that can turn into a very good Esper.
Nothing seems to be out of the ordinary.
Then there's the flying guy. This is just like an emo version, usually just to attract emo boys to pull for him. Usually this kind of guy is kind of like useless. And then this one also is just for pulling a lolly guys. Usually a support, mainstream support. Probably gonna have a very unique golden buff or silver debuff. There is or silver buff. Wait, there is no silver buff. A golden buff that is very much like Sakura. Very strong, very OP, but very mainstream. You know, that's just my speculation. The two in the front here is a pay-to-win character. Most of the time, like if you play enough game, like the one that they highlight in the front is always gonna be the one that attracts the pay-to-win players the most. Like the one that is obviously gonna be OP, but a long time we'll have a lot of counter, just like Ana.
Nothing seems to be out of the ordinary.
They are playable espers. Ya. Bah itu katanya yang depan Yun Chuan sama Liling, yang belakang itu 5 esper baru yang akan datang. Yang Wan, welcome to the stream. Masalahnya katanya itu. Okay, so how much were that became true? So we already know that my prediction on the Lu Shang was on point, and then the Yu Jing not so much, but I did say the golden buff and the silver buff is going to be very unique. But I thought she's gonna be a mainstream OP, but apparently she doesn't work if you don't have Lu Shang in the first place. And then the emo boy, the wing, the bird guy, I mentioned that he was totally useless. He's gonna be just like to attract emo boy. So I don't know if it is correct or not. And then the guy, I thought that was a book, a Necronomicon, but after if you keep watching the video, you're gonna see that someone corrected me that it was a cane. And I still mentioned that he is going to be important, like very strong. So my bet went on to Lu Shang and also to Bi Tao among all these new Esper. And I also mentioned that Liling and Yun Chuan, the Meta Liling and Meta Yun Chuan, is gonna be the pay-to-win Espers. You know, really good for attracting pay-to-win players. But in the long run, because they only able to deal damage, it's gonna be easily replaceable. So quite true for most of the part. Like Liling can only deal damage, but the thing is that his damage is a lot in terms of PvE content, you know. But still, like even right now, not many players are able to use him. Just because I think because not many players already have him at Resonance 6. I don't know about the top ranked player in our server. Do they already have Meta Liling at Resonance 6? But I still see most of the time people are still using Resonance 6 Elif, you know. So we still see that he is still pretty much replaceable. And for Meta Yun Chuan, he has a very unique buff that makes all of his allies, all of his enemies deal 80% less damage. So that is very strong, but still a pay-to-win character because you can only get him to that resonance if you do actually spend money. I don't think anybody will be lucky enough to be able to get him to at least resonance 2 without paying anything. But yeah, that was my prediction 2 months ago, you know. So wait, where's my mouse? Yeah, there it is, 2 months ago. So how much was that were correct? Only you guys can decide and see, you know. So we're gonna go see. We've already seen this. So we're gonna see on the patch details. Okay. Now here we're gonna analyze. I also haven't read much. You know, I've only just opened. Like I said, I just came back home and I've only seen Bitao and then Mingsuo. Okay, that's it. So let's analyze this. Bitao, Shen Gong Mao. 5-star flow. Bitao is a controller capable of inflicting petrification. Oh, I'm already liking this. This is a flow esper. So Chenghe is already OP because of the petrification, but this is a flow esper. Everybody can have him, and he is probably gonna be the free version of Chenghe. But I still expecting him to be able to do much more than Chenghe. So let's see. Ability 1, Spectral Flame deals damage to one enemy based on attack. Ascension deals damage to one enemy based on attack. All of the enemies debuff durations plus 1 turn. This is great. So Avatara, insanely good for him. Because every time he counter-attack using Avatara, he gonna extend the enemy's debuff. The thing is that if the enemy who attacked him is the one that you gonna counter with Avatar, obviously, yeah. But because they are attacking you, that means that they are not under incapacitating debuff. So too bad you cannot extend the enemy's stun duration by counter-attacking them because they cannot attack you in the first place if they are incapacitated. But if you use basic attack to an enemy that is incapacitated, like they are stunned, they are petrified, they are frozen, they are silence or anything, you know, the debuff durations will increase by 1 turn because they never mentioned this to not work with incapacitating debuff. So every single debuff, including incapacitating debuff, will get increased the duration by 1 turn. So essentially, if you can manage to stun one enemy, you're gonna be able to keep him permanently under stun if you have the same or faster speed than your enemy compared to your Bitao. You know, you just keep attacking them with your basic ability, and that's it. They will stay permanently on stun effect. Permanently. So that's the strength of the ability 1. I'm already liking where this is going. Ability 1 is already good enough. Ability to chase. Prior to selecting one enemy with petrification, nice. You can control which one you get to select. Most likely gonna be the one that are able to cleanse themselves. Most likely target like Feng Sun, target like hey wait, I want to play some music. Let's see. Someone like Feng Sun, someone like you know Sakura, someone like Ana, someone, basically everybody who can cleanse themselves, they gonna be in trouble to get petrified, whether from Chuyao or Iki, you know. But if you have Chenghe, this is even better. But the thing is that with Chenghe, you're gonna petrify all 5 of your enemies. So this will gonna target random enemies. So if the target has petrification, inflict soul snare. What is soul snare? Oh, it is now here. If the target doesn't have petrification, there is a chance of inflicting petrification. Won't miss and can be resisted. This is great. So you can inflict petrification by yourself, but it is much better to pair Bitao with other petrification esper. Most likely for the free-to-play players who doesn't have Chenghe, you're gonna be able to pair him up with your Chuyao or with your Tricky. But obviously, if your Chuyao is already at resonance score, which you should have if you follow my recommendation of grabbing Chuyao when he first came out. So Soul Snare cannot be healed. Wow, nice. Hopefully, this is a silver debuff. You know, or this, wait. This is definitely a silver debuff. So this will definitely gonna hit. There's no way you can miss this, and the enemy cannot be healed. This is really good because nowadays, if you don't bring a diseased esper who can inflict disease, you're gonna have a bad time dealing with Lian, dealing with Sakura, dealing with all the esper that are currently here. With Chenghe also, Chenghe can also heal her allies. You know, that's why Iki is very much important nowadays because he has a very reliable disease application in the entire server. Like, and the disease happen on the enemy's turn. When they attack Iki or his friends, the enemy will receive disease, which is insanely good. But he is a simmer esper, so obviously that is expected. Now we have the non-simmer version for this. This is great. Now the carrier takes true damage based on maximum HP at the start of the allies non-active turn. What the fuck? Oh my god, this is OP. My god. You know how many times Ana gonna attack outside of her turn? You know how many times Momo gonna attack outside of her turn? You know how many times Yuhime, wait, who else who gonna attack outside of their turn? Basically a lot of Esper. Wuyo takes a turn on her own, right? It's a bonus turn. Who else attack outside of their turn? Oh my god, there are a lot. Sujue attack outside of her turn, if you already have Sujue and Resonance too. Oh my god, every time they counter attack you, the carrier of Soul Snare, which is gonna be one, you only target one, is going to die. The target, that guy is going to die. This is a true damage based on maximum HP. So I'm gonna take a look at how much percentage number we're gonna see on this one. So that is going to be insanely strong. So that is all snare, insanely OP. Ability 3 does fire prowl, deals damage to all enemies based on attack, inflicts petrification on all enemies. So you don't need, if you can use your third ability and then follow up by second ability without the enemy cleansing themselves, so you can just do your own combo by yourself. So you can pair him up with Ricky, you can pair him up with Chuyao, you can just bring Bitao by himself. So this is good. He is not reliant on other Esper. And grants Sardonic Slice to Bitao. What is Sardonic Slice? Before an enemy's turn starts, they have a savings number of deposit. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is a must-have. This is a must-have, guys. So, you know very well, if Vivi already mentioned that a certain Esper is a must-have, that means that this is insanely strong, insanely OP, and pretty much irreplaceable even in the future. Because nowadays, if you don't use Chehe, there are not many reliable petrification Esper that you have. We already have Chuyao, but Chuyao and Tricky, but still, like the other petrification Esper that we have is Melanie or Jacob, So petrification is still a rare thing to have if you don't have Chehe. Like Chehe, once you have Chehe, like you will see that petrification all the time. But now this one is insanely OP. Like you can just pair Bitao with Chuyao, and the moment Chuyao move, and he's gonna move because he has the fastest speed after Tolan in the game, and he gives 3 debuffs by his own third ability, and if the number of debuffs that they need to have is like 5 debuffs, then you're gonna need to just throw another kind of debuffs, and that's it. Before an enemy's turn start, they gonna petrify themselves if they have a specific number of debuffs. I don't know which one gonna happen first. If the enemy have Sally, that cleanse her allies at the start of their turn, I don't know which one gonna happen first. Whether you're gonna get petrified first or you're gonna get cleansed first, So we will see. I cannot test this even in BTR. So even if the Sally gonna cleanse, no, it's gonna stop. Yeah, it's gonna stop this combo. So if Sally gonna cleanse her allies first, it will probably gonna reduce the number of debuffs by 1, and so preventing this sardonic slice to happen, and that means that Sally can counter a Bitao for like in specific case if you have just the required number of debuff. And the hardest part is that if you fight against someone like Jin Yuyao, it's gonna be really hard to keep debuff on the enemy. But to make sure that this happen, you can always bring Hilda. It is gonna be guaranteed that the enemy will have enough debuffs to just keep on inflicting petrification every time they gonna move. And the thing is that this sardonic slice is on Bitao himself. If Bitao doesn't have any speed at all, it's gonna take him a very long time to make use of his sardonic slice. Like the buff gonna be on Bitao. So if the buff lasts for 2 turns, Bitao needs to move for 2 turns first before this sardonic slice is gone. So if by those 2 turns, if the enemy keep on moving, they all just gonna keep on getting petrified over and over again before Bitao finish his 2 turns. You know, that's how OP this skill is. And that's the reason why Lu Shang is his rival. Lu Shang can block the debug. Oh yeah, exactly. So like I said, like Lu Shang and Bitao is going to be very important, insanely strong. But this is just like, you know, Angel and the Devil. The fight between those two is insanely great. Like I'm currently asking for my clubmates to keep increasing my Lu Shang resonance, because I've already told you like how strong Lu Shang resonance 2 is, and preventing 3 debuffs from happening really counter Chu Yao. And also now Bitao is reliant on the number of debuffs here. It also gonna counter Bitao, you know. So that is insane, you know. And also because Lu Shang can just keep on spamming his 3rd skill, like he's gonna be able to just keep preventing debuff over and over again. Wow. Yeah, he is the arch enemy of Bitao. Wow. And I've already mentioned that both of them is a must-have. You know, this is irreplaceable. You know, no matter how long you play Dislyte in the future, this is always gonna be useful. Nothing can replace this thing. Before an enemy's turn starts, if they have a great number of debuffs, inflict petrification. What the hell? What is the Dislyte developers are smoking when they're making this? Right. So at resonance, Dustfire Prowl's final damage increases. It is the 3rd ability. Okay, that's alright. Resonance 2, new effect, Dustfire Prowl. A new effect is added to sardonic slice, immune to petrification. Bitao is his own counter. And also this is great because this means that you can also use Bitao to fight against Chehe. Yeah. If petrification on any enemy ends early, extends sardonic slice duration. Wow, this is a huge power spike. You know, that means that if the enemy have at least 1 cleanser, you will have permanent sardonic slice buff on Bitao. If they have at least 1 cleanser, because if petrification on any enemy ends early, it doesn't mention that whether you cleanse all 5 enemies or you cleanse only 1 enemy. If the enemy have, for example, someone like Brewster, who can just transfer his debuff every time he attack, he will just keep extending Bitao sardonic slice every time Brewster, pursuit attack. That is stupid. Oh no, Brewster gonna be only have 1 petrification, right? So he gonna only remove 1 petrification. Let's see. Oh yeah, inflicts petrification. Okay, so if the enemy have, Oh, okay. If the enemy already have petrification, sorry, I didn't. I forgot that if you are petrified, you will not be able to attack. Okay, so Brewster won't be able to transfer his debuff. Okay, so who can cleanse even though they don't do anything? Sally, Jin Yao, Heng Ye, not Clara. Clara cannot do anything if petrified. Yeah, all those Esper that I mentioned, Feng Sun, Ana, Sakura, all those Esper are going to keep extending Bitau's sardonic slice by just existing. Wow, that is insane. Just look at how excited I am talking about Bitau here. Now, Resonance 4, another force spike. Usually, if an enemy is incapacitated, ally speed increases. This is important. Usually, it is self. You know, usually this kind of sentence affect yourself. So usually, if something happen, Bitau speed increases. But this one, if an enemy is incapacitated, ally speed increases. What the hell? If I bring someone like Pritzker, I'm going to be able to keep increasing my speed every single time Pritzker stun his enemies. Wow. And I don't know if this applies multiplicative or not. Like, if an enemy is incapacitated, if for example allies increase his speed by 5%, for example, if I incapacitate 5 enemies, will I get 25% speed increase or will I only get 5% speed increase? That is the thing that we need to test in the PTR later, okay? So remind me about that. Wait, I cannot test this in PTR, this is Resonance 4. Okay. Oh my god, I'm too excited talking about this guy. So yeah, I cannot test this, but if you happen to, by the time Bitau get released into the real server, if you have Bitau at Resonance 4, do remember that you need to test this, you know. If you see 25% speed increase, then bye-bye. Pair Bitau together with someone like Lucas, someone like Pritzker, someone like who else who can incapacitate like every 3 or 4 turns? Oh my god, someone like Chehe also petrification every single turn. Wow, that is insane. Resonance 6, a new effect is added to Dustfire Prow. This is the third ability. Gain Sardonic Slice at the start of combat. Wow, you don't even need to move. You don't even need to move. So by the time you start the battle, your Chuyao definitely gonna move first, inflict debuffs on the enemy, and even if the enemy move after that, they gonna be petrified. If the specific number only require 3 debuff, of course. So yeah, this is a very huge power spike, insanely strong. So if you are pay-to-win players, do get Bitau to Resonance 6. This is going to be insanely strong in PvP. Because as usual, a controller Esper is useless in PvE most of the time. Like you can only use them in tower fight, like Infinity Tower or other tower. But in something like Dislyte Land or the Falsetto Fantasy or Sentinel Hunt, obviously you're definitely not gonna bring a controller except for sleep for better. You know? So yeah. That is Bitau. So obviously when he comes out, I will gonna stream to pull for him. All out. We're gonna do all out on Bitau. So let's go for Mingsuo now. Lei Chen. 5-star Shimmer. Mingsuo is a fighter with high speed, capable of dealing massive AoE damage. Wow. So probably not that useless. But this is expected, like he has a wing, so obviously he's gonna be very high speed, just like, who is the bird girl? Valeria, yeah, just like Valeria. Chehe is the exception. Oh yeah, because Chehe cannot be petrified. Yeah, obviously, of course. And also Bitau himself. So if you are fighting against like high ranking player, you know, they also have resonance 6 Bitao. So obviously their Bitao is immune to petrification also. Yeah. So insanely strong, insanely strong. So let's go. Ability 1, Thunder Spark, deals damage to one enemy based on attack. After Ascension, deals damage to, I mean, Che is good for this lane. Oh yeah. Okay. Dislyte lane. Oh yeah, because Che can move every time she is dying. Yeah, her damage is also quite alright. Yeah. Yes, he is a controller. Okay. Yeah, I think she's an exception. But probably also because she is a simmer, like her damage is also insanely high, so that's why she can be used to deal damage in Dislyte Land. But if she doesn't have that much damage, like I don't think she is also gonna be useful. Like I think she is the only controller Esper who can deal insane amount of damage, right? Like even the mummy, who is that? What is her name? I forgot. Feng Nuxi, yeah, even Feng Nuxi, who also is a simmer legendary Esper who deals damage using her maximum HP, doesn't deal damage as high as Chehe, you know, because of the third skill of Chehe dealing twice damage. You know, if you have her at like, you know, high resonance, and then her passive if they got hit by during special turn, blah blah blah, and everything, you know, she is able to deal insane amount of damage, and hence why she can be using Dislyte. But yeah, she is probably the only exception. Wait, let me see. Let me think about other controller. Who are other controller that can deal damage like Chehe? I think not many, right? Yeah. Chehe is probably the highest damage dealer controller in this game. Yeah. So, continue with Ming Suo. Deals damage on enemy based on attack. Skyrat's cooldown -1 turn upon a critical hit. Again, an effect that is very much gonna be, you know, strengthened by Avatara. So give Ming Suo Avatara for sure. Every time he counters attack, he gonna be able to use his third ability more often. So insanely good for Ming Suo. I do expect that his rival would have Avatara, obviously. If by any chance, like these two, Bitao and Ming Suo, doesn't have Avatara, then yeah, you need to blame the Dislyte developer team for not thinking about this. This is pretty much calling for Avatara, you know, like these two effect on the first ability. Now ability 2, Raging Sacrifice, consumes remaining HP to gain Thunderclap. What? Converts consume HP to increase critical damage at a certain ratio, last 2 turns. Is he going to die? I mean, it makes sense if it says that consume certain amount of HP to gain Thunderclap, but it says consumes remaining HP. So am I gonna die? Huh? I assume that they're gonna leave 1 HP at least, right? For Ming Suo, just so he can survive, right? I mean, I literally translate this however they wrote this, right? Consumes remaining HP. So this is self-destruct. Obviously not, right? What does Thunderclap even do? Increases critical damage by a multiplier. Increases damage speed dramatically. Immune to ability damage. Wait, what? What? Attack down, speed down, critical damage down, and AP down. Okay. No, I mean, I can understand about this effect. Like, I just say that he is immune to certain debuff effect. You know, just like Petros, Moriyama, if they have higher attack or higher HP than his enemy, then they are immune to debuff. But this one is not all debuff, only the debuff that reduce his damage output. So if you reduce his speed, he reduce his defense, stun him, freeze him, he is still affected by that. But this part, I mean, if he is immune to ability damage, he is immortal, right? What the hell? This is the second ability. This is the second ability. Usually, most of the time, second ability have lower cooldown than the third ability. So you can just use this a lot of time, right? And it lasts for 2 turns. You are immune to ability damage for 2 turns. And then, if you can reset his skills by using Abigail, by using Sachiko, you can just keep this on you permanently. And if you can have someone like Alice that can extend your buff, can you extend the duration of this buff, this Thunderclap? If I can extend the duration of the Thunderclap, I am immortal. I mean, this happened in Huehue Kyoto. What was his name? I keep remembering him as Huehue Kyoto. Wenlock. This also happened as like Wenlock. When I saw the patch notes, I thought he's gonna be immortal, but apparently I captured the skill, how the skill works wrongly. But this one is straightforward, right? This one is pretty straightforward. It is just immune to ability damage. I mean, everything is ability, right? This is ability 1, ability 2, ability 3. So only passive damage can hit him, is it? But passive damage is also considered ability damage. So he cannot be damaged. Oh my god, this is insane. But the thing is that this part, this one consumes HP. Usually something that sacrifices your whole HP gonna give you insane amount of damage increase in return. And also confers to increase critical damage at a certain ratio. I wonder how much percentage numbers this gonna give us. Like even if it only gives us 40% critical damage, that is huge. And Thunderclap itself already increased critical damage by a multiplier. So I will probably looking at a very high critical damage. But that is just asking for Wenlock to make his debut. Wenlock Lian, because Wenlock is able to reduce your critical chance, and then also Lian is able to reduce your critical chance into hitting your allies, and also someone like Chuyao gonna prevent critical damage at all from hitting one of his allies. So that is his counter. Mingsuo relies a lot on critical damage, so if he doesn't crit, he won't deal any damage. If it's a golden ring buff, you cannot extend it, so it's most likely balanced. Hi Yasirdak, welcome to the stream. Yeah. I think they probably already thought about that. That you cannot extend that. I don't know, but we will see. Maybe they're gonna have a bug that allow this to get extended. We don't know. But in any way, you can always reset this ability, because there is not anywhere mentioned that you cannot affect this ability cooldown by any abilities or any items. So you can also give Ocean Set to Mingsuo so that he can have a chance to reset his ability too, in order to just keep casting this and last indefinitely. Wow, I can already think of a lot of strategy on using Mingsuo, but I don't know whether I can get him or not in the first place. We will see. If the required esper is not specific, then I can get him. And looking at his build like this, like he is someone who is like pretty much a glass cannon. Like deal insane amount of damage, but dies very, very easily. That's why he needs to be immune to ability damage. Just so he can survive. Ocean Set, also Wenlock R2. Yeah, exactly. Wenlock Resonance too. Hence why I mentioned that Wenlock is really, really OP when we did the analysis on Wenlock. So that's why, like, abilities that can reduce your allies cooldown or give your allies a bonus turn is always gonna be something that is really strong in a turn-based game. I keep mentioning that, because nowadays all the new Esper are all playing around with cooldown and bonus turn. Now let's go to ability 3. Skywrath deals damage to all enemies based on attack. Passive after each of Mingsuo's action increases defense ignored when dealing damage up to certain percentage after any enemy's active turn. Oh my god, if only they never mentioned this, I would say that you're gonna have an insanely OP Esper. But this is very balanced. This means that if you use Mingsuo in PvP, he is going to be very balanced because there is not many instances where the enemy cannot move at all, except if you bring someone like Sienna, Lucas, Abigail to keep resetting your Sienna and Lucas cooldown, and then Sachiko also to reduce Sienna and Lucas cooldown, and Melanie, Eira, basically all the AP reduction Esper to keep the enemy from moving at all, then this will gonna get reset. Only if you are able to keep the enemy from moving at all by bringing every single AP down Esper in existence, then you will be able to make Mingsuo keep moving, and then the defense ignored when dealing damage is going to go up to until 100%. I don't know, up to a certain percentage. So I don't know how much percentage is this gonna be. Usually this is gonna be at 50% usually, but I wouldn't be surprised if they up this number to 100%. I don't know. We will see the number. Because the reason why they put this here, I already know the reason why the developer team put this is because he is going to be insanely strong in Sentinel Hunt and Falsetto Fantasy, because the boss won't have that much chance to move before you are able to move 20-30 times. So Mingsuo is going to be able to exploit this, especially for something like Fobetter, that you can reduce his AP and you can just keep on moving and keep ignoring the defense without the enemy moving at all. Unlock R to reduce fighter time Esper's cooldown by 1. I know. I hope Mingsuo Divinate gives himself speed buff like Lucas. We never get a Divinate mentioned in any of the patch notes, so we wouldn't know until the PTR. So hopefully. He pretty much relies on keep taking actions, so giving him more speed is going to be preferable. I wonder if they are going to put his dividend in a shop like Everett. Oh yeah, I don't think they will. If they gonna put the Simmer Esper divinate like Everett, probably gonna start first with Moroyama, but I don't know. We will see. But if we go by the order of release, then I don't think they're gonna jump straight to Mingsuo if they don't go for Moroyama first. But we will never know. So man, I hope I can listen to this today and work will leave me alone. Good morning, Vivi. Hi, Jasju, welcome to the stream. Hi, good morning to you. So we are talking about the new Esper and how OP they are. But still, Mingsuo is what I always say as a selfish Esper. So he only cares about himself. He doesn't help his allies at all. So pretty much the world revolves around him. So all of your support Esper is going to be chosen in order to strengthen Mingsuo himself. So your choice on support Esper is going to revolve around Mingsuo himself. Esper that can give speed up, Esper that can give bonus turn to Mingsuo, Esper that can reduce the enemy's AP, etc., just to make your Mingsuo shine more. But that kind of selfish Esper usually always going to be replaced because he is only able to deal damage. So eventually in the future there will come out out an Esper that can deal even more damage than him. And if he doesn't give any other utility, he is going to be replaced by that newer Esper. Because no matter how many Esper that the developer gonna release for you, you can only bring 5 Espers into battle. So yeah, you still need to choose which Esper you're gonna bring. I'm still trying to pull R1 Moro. I answered that. Yeah, luckily my decision came quick. So I already got my Moroyama at Resonance 1. And you can already see my videos, I'm enjoying my Moroyama very, very much. But still, I still need Iki. And I got lucky and I pulled Petros in Golden Echo. Yeah, if you saw my community post, you already know, that I pulled my Petros in Golden Echo. So I've already got both of them, Resonance 1 Moroyama and Petros, and I pretty much enjoy my PvP right now. I already got up to point war 20 now because of the Petros and Moroyama, and also the current Mona exploit. So yeah, probably gonna hit 21 soon because I just keep on winning because of the Mona there. But yeah, too bad they fixed Mona, so my damage is a little bit lower. So I cannot guarantee 100% win all the time, but it's still enough to kill more than half of my target. So we're gonna see the resonance now. Resonant 1 Skywrath is the third ability. Passive after each of Mingsuo's action increases the percentage of defense ignored when he deals damage. So even more defense ignored when he deals damage. So the Resonance 1 gives a very huge power spike, just like Moroyama, but it is still not a must because it is not a utility change, not a gameplay change, but it is just a percentage number increase. So not a must, but it does increase his damage by twice. It doubles his damage output. Now Resonance 2 Thunderstruck Overload. Is this new? It's new. This is Thunderspark and Thunderstruck. Is this a new? Skywrath's final damage increases. Oh yeah, it's a new passive. Skywrath's final damage increases. Okay, so Resonance 4 Raging Sacrifice Morph 1. This is the second ability. Thunderclad's duration plus 1 turn. Oh my god, 3 turns of invincibility. 3 turns of invincibility. This is even more OP. Wow. Did you get Chehe? I got Chehe. No, I didn't pull Chehe. Like, I know for sure that I don't need Chehe, so I'm not pulling for Chehe. Because I already know how to counter her. So if I already know how to counter her, like the enemy can also counter me. Like I said, when I saw Chehe's skill, I know that she can be countered by Moroyama, by Intisar, by Ophelia. Basically, all the direct damage dealer Esper can pretty much kill Chehe. So she is not that much stronger than Wuyo and Ana. The only advantage of Chehe is that the current Wuyo plague is countered by Chehe. So that's the only advantage. But because I also already know how to counter Wuyo, which is by using Momo, I also don't need both of them. That's why. So what I'm aiming next is gonna be Iki. Depending on what the cap is for defense ignore, his R1 could be huge. Yeah. That's why. So I don't know, like up to a certain percentage. Like if the certain percentage is 100% and the defense ignored is increased by 1% every time he moves, then increasing that by 2% will shorten the amount of time you need to reach the maximum percentage number here by half, the time required. So that's why this is huge. Like, for example, if you fight in Falsetto Fantasy and you have 100 turns to deal your damage, and you require 50 turns to just reach the maximum number of percentage defense ignored, that means that only for the second half of the 50 turns you will deal your maximum damage. But if you can reduce that number by half, that means that by after 25 turns you will already reach your maximum amount of defense ignored percentage. That means for the remaining 75 turns you will deal your maximum amount of damage. That's just the draft example. Obviously once the enemy move, it's gonna get reset, but then again that means that you will have higher percentage defense ignored before the enemy even move, so that will definitely double your damage output. So yeah, that is the strength of this resonance one. Now the resonance for insanely OP, yeah, last 3 turns for invincibility, that this is also a golden buff. So obviously you cannot remove this by this spell, so nothing can damage him. The only way you can do something to Mingsuo is to stun him. But that's it, like he doesn't have utility for his allies, and to counter him you just need to stun him. But still, if the enemy brings Sakura, you cannot stun Mingsuo. So yeah, pros and cons, but still, like, not something that is insanely OP. Like I said, like he is pretty much gonna be really good for PvE. For PvP, he is quite balanced actually. Not really that OP like Ana or Wuyo, like not really that game changing like Ana or Wuyo. But still, if he can pretty much be able to one-shot anyone, I guess. Like if the critical damage increase here is quite high, But still, like no matter how strong Moroyama is, if you can kill him, then he is not a threat. So like Mingsuo, if you can kill him, then he is not a threat. So before he is able to use his second ability, if you can just kill him when he just started his turn, then you pretty much just disable him. Yeah. So now Resonance A consumes haste speed to increase a critical damage multiplier. So more critical damage multiplier. I don't know how much it's a multiplier, but I expect this to increase by twice, at the very least. So that will increase his damage by a lot. And again, this gonna benefit a lot more in PvE content rather than in PvP, because in PvP a controller Esper is still more important than just dealing damage. So yeah, that is Mingsuo. Not totally useless, so my prediction was quite off. But still, not something that I do want to pull. But then again, he is free. So yeah, we will just collect him, use him for PvE content. And if you do want to use him for PvP, then feel free to make a team revolving around him. So yeah, that's the new Esper. I think it's going to be like 5% per turn, increase to 10%. Yeah, probably. So we don't know about the maximum number here. Wait, the maximum number up to a certain percentage. Probably the thing that makes more sense, the most sense, is that he gonna ignore 5% defense and cap at 50%, and this one will increase the percentage from 5% to 10%. So he only need to move 5 times before the enemy reset his defense ignorance. So if it is on PvP, obviously you only able to move once or twice before any of the enemy get their active turn. But in PvE content, getting 5 turns before the boss actually do anything is very easy to do. Yeah, I agree. It seems better. So I'm going to wait to see is Divinate and multiplier as well. Yeah, but he is free. Like everybody can just get him. So yeah, you just keep him in bench, And if you see that he's divinate, and if you use him by his own resonance 0 without any abilimon and without any divinate, and he is very very useful in your PvE content, then why not? If you have any extra abilimon lying around or extra divinate lying around, just use on him. Then you can increase your PvE score by even more. But usually, for example, like someone like Elif, like if you can get her at resonance 2, she can pretty much be already good enough, or even at resonance 0, if you have Elif divinate, like she can be used and very much can replace any of your other DPS esper. So that is already good enough. You don't need to invest so much as long as they are useful at their resonance 0 without any abilimon, without any divinate state. Thoughts on Bitao? Yeah, you probably need you probably want to rewind this video after we finish tonight's stream. You probably want to just watch my Bitao analysis. But my thought on him, a must-have. I'm definitely gonna go all out on Bitao. The Esper that I say is gonna be a must-have is something that always gonna be irreplaceable. So among all the Esper that I said is a must-have, usually most of them are still being used even until now. So he's free, so I'm going to R6 D6 him. It's going to happen regardless. I think he's good at R0 personally. Yeah. I think I also myself gonna use Bingsuo at resonance 0. So we will see. If his damage is already good enough in Falsetto Fantasy and Sentinel Hunt, then I'm gonna make my team revolving around him, and it's already good enough, because I'm a pure free-to-play player. So definitely I won't be able to resonance 6 divinate 6 him. But if he's already good at resonance 0, then yeah, it's already enough for free-to-play players like me. What I saw, just you on Bitao. Bitao is already useful at resonance 0. He is insanely good even at resonance 0. But if you can get him at resonance 2, then he is all right. It is not a must. It is not a must have for the resonance 2, but the resonance 4 is where you want him to be. At resonance 4. The resonance 6, if you are very very competitive, then resonance 6 is insanely strong for Bitao. But if you want to unlock his most of his potential, Bitao's potential, you do want him to sit at resonance 4. Because of this, it increases his allies' speed. So if you pair him in a controller team, you will be able to permanently disable your entire enemy the whole time, the whole fight. Like if an enemy is incapacitated, ally speed increases. You know how easy this can be done if you bring someone like Pritzker. And by increasing your ally speed, that means that your Pritzker is going to be able to stun the enemy even more. So if you also have Chehu, this is insanely crazy in a PvP situation. So yeah, this is where you want your Bitao to sit. But even without this, at resonance 0, he is pretty much irreplaceable. No, I think he needs it. R6 seems like waste for who? Oh yeah, you mean the resonance 0 is good for Bitao. Yeah. So that's all. Hey, Bitao's resonance 6, this one is not a waste. Here's the thing. There are a lot of situations where when you have Chuyao move first and give debuffs to your enemy, it's gonna push their AP. And they gonna move because of that. That kind of situation is if you hit someone like Ashley, if you hit someone like Yuhime, and you have Ethan, or if you hit Ethan, then you gonna push your enemy AP and they gonna move before your B-Tau move. So you won't be able to cast your B-Tau's third ability, so you won't have sardonic slice. And the enemy will be able to move and then push your allies AP down and stun you and do all sorts of things to you, and your B-Tau gonna die first because B-Tau deals damage using attack. So depending on your build, I don't know, like you want to give him attack, or if this attack is just for decoration, then you definitely won't have B-Tau dealing damage. So yeah, that means that if your B-Tau didn't get a chance to move, then you won't have this sardonic slice on B-Tau. And that means that your Chuyao's debuff not gonna inflict petrification on your enemies when it is their turn to move. So in the case of that happening, you know, and for something like, if for example the enemy have Farah that won't be able to get AP down, and if you inflict her by AP down, she will get AP increase instead. Like in all those kinds of situation, this Resonance 6 is where B-Tau's strength is, you know, because at the start of combat, getting sardonic slice without him moving at all is similar to the advantage that you get for getting your Liam at Resonance 6, for getting your Sally at Resonance 6, or Resonance like 4 or 2, I forgot. Like at what Resonance Sally get her third ability already at the beginning of the battle. You know, those kind of advantage is very, very strong. Like Sakura's ability to block incapacitating debuff, and then Lu Xiang's ability to block 3 debuffs. All those things give a huge power spike, you know, like a huge advantage for you in battle. So this Resonance 6 is also game changing, but only in certain situations. You know, but those situations mostly happen when you least expect it, you know. So yeah, this is actually really strong. I mean, then got to R4, I have enough stones. Yeah, but don't go for there first, you know. Like, this is very, very strong, but only if you build your team revolving around this. Obviously, if you put your B-Tau in, like, for example, a lineup consisting like someone like Chu Yao, Feng Sun, Ana, and probably Intisar or something, and you don't have any Esper that can inflict incapacitating debuff to your enemy, then this is useless, you know. So it depends. Like, don't go straight for Resonance 4. Just see for yourself. If you think that you don't really need this, like you already getting comfortable using him at Resonance 0, then you can save your Wish Stone for future Esper. But if you think that, oh my god, I can exploit this even further, then yeah, feel free to bring him at Resonance 4. You know, but still, we're gonna test this we're gonna see this in PTR, whether the percentage speed increase is really, really good, or is it like, you know, just so-so. You got Sally to R5, so one more to go. Yeah. Sakura is R2. Yeah, it's Resonance 6 Sally. Oh yeah, Resonance 6 Sally is the one that make her able to use her third skill at the start of the battle. The thing is, the sardonic slide is reliant on the enemy having debuffs for it to activate. Those other examples work on their own. The way you made sense though with the trio example. Yeah, exactly. Like the thing that I keep thinking about this is that we currently have Chu Yao, which is the second fastest Esper in this game, and he is able to give 3 debuffs already at the beginning of the battle. You know, the moment he moves, he throws 3 debuffs on all of his enemies. So again, like, save your Wish Stone for the Resonance first, because this is also reliant on this. How many debuffs do you consider to inflict the petrification? If this says you only need 3 debuffs, then Chu Yao himself is enough. But if this says you need 5 debuffs, then obviously aside from Chu Yao, you need someone else to move after your Chu Yao. Then you will be able to do this. But it is gonna be much harder to do that. Like I said, when your Chu Yao moves, there are a lot of instances where the enemy gonna be able to move after your Chu Yao. So if you don't give enough debuffs, that means that do not take the Resonance 6. So this thing is reliant on this number, you know. So if the number here is 5 debuffs, the Resonance 6 is no. But if this says 3 debuffs, that means yes, go for this Resonance 6, because that means that your Chu Yao himself is enough to bring this out. Yeah. So yeah, that's just, it wasn't like, oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, that's the thing, you know. Like, hence why, like, when I do analysis, like, I keep, you know, thinking of all the Esper that I have, including epic and rare Esper. You know, who's gonna be able to exploit these new Esper's abilities? You know, and the one thing that comes to mind is obviously Esper who can inflict a lot of debuffs, and who else other than the king of debuff can do that? You know, Chu Yao, the king of debuffs. Not because of the number of his debuffs, like, you know, if you're talking about the number of debuffs, obviously Hilda gonna be on top. But the way those debuffs are, you know, affecting each other is what makes Chu Yao insanely strong. You know, like Calamity, Seer, and Defense Down just basically breaks every single defense your enemy has. You know, that is just insanely strong. Those 3 debuffs together. Yeah. Hoping he has 2-3 debuffs and not 4-5. Yeah, not only does he debuff, but he strips buffs too. Yeah, exactly. Chu Yao, king of debuffs indeed. Yeah, exactly. Wow. So Chu Yao is the king of debuffs, and Feng Sun is the king of buffs, and both of them are yin and yang in the Chinese mythology. You know, so that's my take on both of them. You know, a must-have, both of them. So yeah, there are not many Esper that I say a must-have. Let me see. I'm gonna go to my Esper list here, and you know, we will go through all the Esper that I said is a must-have. So let's see. Jinyu Yao is a must-have, and then Tricky is a must-have. Gabriel is a must-have. Gaius is a must-have, and then who else? Intisar is a must-have. Then Ana is a must-have, and then Sujue is a must-have, Iki is a must-have, Chu Yao is a must-have, Momo is a must-have, Petros is a must-have, Feng Sun is a must-have, Lu Sang is a must-have. That's it. Those Espers that I mentioned is going to be irreplaceable even until 10 years in the future. Probably exaggerating a little bit, but you get what I mean, you know, because their skill sets are, how to say, are very much giving you, how to say, value, like a ton of value. Their utilities is irreplaceable. No matter what kind of new Esper comes out, their skill set will always gonna be on top. You know, all those Esper. Yeah, maybe it's 2. Not really. Like when Mavis comes out, like she is not on my must-have list because my Intisar is able to just one-shot Mavis. Like when Mavis first came out and Anna also came out, I heard a lot of complaint for all of my friends who played Dislyte. Like, oh my god, they are such a nuisance. I cannot kill both of them. While I, who has Intisar, just able to one-shot them. And hence why I said, that's the thing about you guys, if you keep following the meta, you won't be able to see the bigger picture. Because Esper, who already has a counter, is not something that you must have. Only if their utility is something that is, like game changing or something that cannot be countered at all, then yeah, that is what I consider as irreplaceable. But for Mavis, if you take away her ability to give Graveless to her allies, she is only able to support her allies by just giving seared speed down and critical rate up, and then critical damage using the holiday rest in here. Critical damage increase. That is the utility that she has if you can overcome her Graveless, because her value is mostly on her Graveless. But because I have Intisar, I can just one-shot her, and her Graveless is already totally useless. So yeah, her value relies a lot on her Graveless being able to work and she herself being able to survive getting damage. But if you can take both of those things away from her, then she is nothing. You don't bring her to PvE content. You don't bring her to any other content aside from PvP. So that's pretty much her value. So the other reason why I mentioned all these Esper, the one that is irreplaceable, the one that is a must-have, is because you can bring them in both PvE and PvP, except for someone like Tricky. Tricky is a very unique Esper because he punishes his enemies. When they do something good for their allies, which is cleansing the allies debuff, he punishes them. There are not many Esper who can punish your enemies, when they are playing around with their buffs and debuffs. So Tricky, until we see someone else who can do this, Tricky is pretty much irreplaceable because this thing alone cannot be countered. Yeah. Okay, favorite. The Yunchuan protect Mavis. The Yunchuan. Yeah, kind of. But I don't know. Like currently, I'm still exploiting my mana. So I haven't seen any meta Yunchuan that can protect their Mavis because currently I'm exploiting this. Maybe I do need to try taking out my mana. Like I bring mana together with Petros, so pretty much I can just ignore Mavis and Meta Yunchuan because with this combo, like even Meta Yunchuan cannot do anything. Look at that. Yeah. So I don't know, like we expect a lot from Meta Yunchuan reducing my damage by 50%, but currently it is not enough to stop Mona from doing that. So I haven't tried yet with my Intisar, like how much damage can be reduced by Meta Yunchuan to protect his Mavis from getting killed by my Intisar. But if they can at least protect her for a long time, then yeah, Meta Yunchuan can protect Mavis. But still, by coming out of Petros, it pretty much already make Mavis, something of the past. Like this one, like this ability, is irreplaceable. Like, enemies with HP below 30% cannot receive certain ally ability effects, including healing, rescale, HP bonus turn, buff, debuff, define that immunity, delayed death, increase MP, reduce ability cooldown, is something that is going to be always relevant in the future. You know, no matter like if in the future they release an even stronger Mavis, these things are still gonna work. You know, so that's why like that thing is irreplaceable. You know. Just like Sujue, you already know how strong Sujue is because of this puppet art, you know, and the funeral rites. Like, this is also irreplaceable. Long time no see. Hi Tamaki, welcome to the stream. Okay, why is Gaius another? He's so legacy. Oh, the thing is because Gaius deal percentage HP damage. You know, even though Gaius is so legacy, but for an Esper who deal multiple damage to a single enemy, like the less enemy there is, the higher damage your guy is gonna deal. And the thing is that his damage, this one, deals extra damage by 8% of the target's maximum HP, up to 50% of Gaius attack. So because of this percentage HP damage, the stronger your enemy is, the more damage Gaius is going to deal. So he is still going to deal very high damage against boss fight. Even though nowadays he is being replaced by Sloan and Elif, but still, if you do use him, like, he is going to pretty much kill a lot of enemies. Like, you can use Elif in in Falsetto Fantasy and Sentinel Hunt, but not many players are able to make use of Elif in PvP. But Gaius is usable in both PvE and PvP. So it is the same reasoning as Gabriel. You know, I mentioned that Gabriel is also a must-have because both Gabriel and Gaius, both of them. Oh yeah, I think I forgot to mention that Abigail is also a must-have. Abigail is also a must-have. And currently, I think Fatum's sister is also a must-have because of the resurrection ability. So yeah, Gaius and Gabriel are both on the list because of the same reason. You know, currently they are legacy, but they pretty much still works in both PvE and PvP content. Like if you see, like in PvP content, if you meet a good Gaius team, he can still pretty much flatten everything in a single move. You know, not many Esper can do that nowadays. Even with Chehe, even like Wuyo is a an exception. Like Wuyo is also someone that can flatten the entire enemy by herself. But Gaius, the thing is that Gaius, even after so long, he is still reliable, you know, in flatten the entire enemy by himself, you know, because of this percentage HP damage. You know, the thing is that I will always gonna value percentage HP damage more than a flat damage increase, because the stronger your enemy is, the more damage they're gonna deal. So that's why Intisar is on top of them all, because Intisar percentage HP damage is not limited by her own attack. Like here, you can see here in Gaius, and that's why she is my bestest, favoritest Esper. Like look at this, extra damage 8% of the target HP up to 50% of Gaius attack. So if the enemy have more HP than Gaius have his attack, then his percentage HP damage is gonna get limited. You know, he won't be able to deal like millions of damage by his percentage HP damage. If the enemy have, you know, billions of HP. But for Intisar, her damage is not limited by attack. You know, so if the enemy have billions of HP, you also gonna deal billions of damage. So hence why in my latest video on Redux, I'm using Intisar, because she deals pretty much the same damage as the HP based Esper. Now the reasoning for Gabriel is also the same. Even after so long, she is still pretty much reliable for giving permanent immunity to all of her allies. And the thing is that by a single move, you are able to protect your entire lineup by giving immunity, defense up, and then reducing the enemy's attack to deal damage to you. That is double your defensive value. Defense up to yourself and attack down to all of your enemies. Double the defensive value you have, and immunity to protect you from every single debuff. So she is actually the opposite of Feng Sun, like the complementary of King of Buff. Like she is the Queen of Buff. Like Feng Sun gives you every single offensive buffs, while Gabriel gives you every single defensive buffs. Like that, And also at the same time, she also gives defense down to the entire enemy team. So like those two. See, you know now how do I judge my espers? The must-have already applied to both of them. Even until after so long, they are still pretty much reliable in doing what they do best. And for the Abigail and Fatum sisters right now, is because the moment you get them, they can revive. And the thing is that about Dislyte, in the PvE content and PvP content, the moment you die, that's it. You failed your fight, But if you have Abigail and Fatum sister, even if your allies die, you can revive them. You have unlimited chance to do your mistake. Like if you go to PvP, like for example, like warm-up match, warm-up match is a real-time PvP. And if you make a mistake, oh my god, I shouldn't have do that. Like I shouldn't have attacked this Esper instead of this one, and blah 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 like that. You make a mistake and then you die, Abigail will cover your mistake, just like Fatum's sister, right now. So both of them is also kind of a must-have, but apparently for Fatum's sister, she aside from the reviving, she is also really good in PvE. But I would say that her biggest power spike is if you have her at Resonance 6. Because by then, she is becoming a flow version of Cecilia. I swear these clauses don't work against the Dislyte and Falsetto Sentinel. And the most expensive damage. Yeah. But the damage is still very, very high. Because even though they have low HP, but someone like, if you want me to go on until the Epic Esper, there are a couple of Epic Esper that you still pretty much until now is still relevant. Ya, aku bro, Meta Lilin review gimana? Gue kagak dapet di event kemarin. Hahaha, you miss a lot, Tamaki. Meta Lilin is even better than Meta Yunchuan, in my opinion. Because for Meta Yunchuan, he protects his allies. But in content where you don't need to protect your allies, like for example in PvE content, Meta Yunchuan is only viable for PvP, where you need to protect your allies, obviously. But for Meta Lilin, I can use him in PvP. I still use Meta Lilin in PvP, But in PvE, he is also very, very strong. Like if you don't have Elif, Meta Lilin is your alternative actually for the things that your Elif can do. So yeah. When you say that the maximum HP damage doesn't work for Falsetto, Sentinel, and etc., actually they do have HP, but their HP is not that huge. You can see this if you give poison to your enemy. In Falsetto Fantasy and your Sentinel Hunt, you can test this by giving your enemy poison. When it is their time to move, the poison deals damage. And you know that poison deals 4% of their maximum HP, so you can already know how much HP they have. Usually your poison gonna deal like 30,000 damage, So you can already know they only have like around 1 million damage or something. 1 million HP or something, So yeah, not a lot, but Gaius himself already deal very, very high damage. So, oh yeah, wait, I forgot to mention, like if you want me to go on the Epic Esper, like the Epic Esper that is also still very much strong until now is Chloe and Louis. Where is Louis? Louis? Ah, there he is. Because both of them, I mean, for Chloe, she doesn't deal percentage HP damage, but for Louis, his passive deal 10% of the target's maximum HP. So like I said, again, the stronger your enemy is, the more damage you gonna deal. For Chloe, she is a very, very unique Esper, where for every buff Chloe has damage plus 10%, and there is no limit. Like for Yuxu also have this, but her damage is limited until 50% damage increase. But for Chloe, she doesn't have a limit, and the number of buffs that you can have can go up to 12. So her damage can be increased by 120% in here. You see why Chloe is still pretty much very strong even until now, So yeah, Gaius and Gabriel, like even after all this time, they are a legacy Esper. But if you bring them to PvP or PvE, they are still pretty much very, very strong. So let me see. This is Liling, Meta Liling, Bang Tamaki. This is Meta Liling in PvP. So let's go. Gaius and Giselle Gabriel get outcast by a lot of content damage wise. Not really. They are if you have other Esper at Resonance 6, like Intisar, probably only lose to Elif and Sloan. Like I currently don't have any other Esper in my lineup that can replace my Intisar's damage. But it is because also my Intisar is already at Resonance 6. So the experience for everyone can vary. But because he deals percentage HP damage, up until now in the PvP content, nothing that my Intisar cannot kill. So yeah, this is my Liling team. Yeah, that is Liling in PvP. So that is what you missed, Bang Tamaki. This is Meta Liling in PvP. Obviously not gonna work to Resonance 6 Sujue, but for like just a standard team that doesn't have Tolan or any Esper, if I can manage to move first because I have Lucian and Ethan, then I will pretty much be able to use this as my third team. Like because in PvP you do need like 4 to 5 teams. You still need to have some backup team. So my first team is this one, my second team is this one, my third team is this one, my fourth team is this one, my fifth team is this one. That is for the triple threat, for triple threat content. So this is the team that I do for my Meta Liling. But yeah, even until now in PvP, like there are not a single Esper that I cannot kill using my Intisar. That's just my experience here. You were saying they are must-have is what I disagree with. Okay. Magandang mga Sienna is so nice. The best R2 for Legend Simmer, Raven, Emo. Best R2 for... What? No. The thing is that here, for Gaius and Gabriel, the moment you get them, you will have your PvE content changing from hard mode to easy mode because of how easy to use them. That's the game-changing ability of Gaius and Gabriel. So you can just take a look at your own experience. When you first started playing Dislyte, before you have Gaius, you need to think a lot of things. Like you need to make a different lineup, like here, there, to just get through your PvE content. But the moment you get your Gaius, straight away you can just flatten every single PvE content using Gaius. And also in PvP, you will be able to climb your ladder using Gaius like very easily. You won't be able to do this when you are like in the early to mid game using Elif, using Sujue, using Sloan. All of your OP Esper, except for Wuyo obviously and Ana, except for Wuyo and Ana, you cannot just skip through all of your PvE and PvP content as easily as how Gaius gonna carry you throughout the game, And even until now, if you don't have Elif at certain resonance, if you don't have Wuyo, if you don't have Sloan at certain resonance, you can always go back to your old guy Gaius to be very much reliable, So that's why they are there. Yeah, it is debatable. Like I would say that my must-have list can be like how to say, can be updated now because it has been so long ever since Gaius and Gabriel is on my must-have Esper list. Just like for example here, Chuyao and Feng Sun. Like you would have agreed that if I say Chuyao and Feng Sun is a must-have, but maybe in 2 years time, 3 years time, like they're gonna come out with an even better King of Buff and King of Debuffs. Chuyao and Feng Sun you gonna say the same thing about Gaius and Gabriel. You get what I mean? So they already have used up their utility, and the Dislyte developer team needs something. They don't have any other idea to come up with a better Esper, so they kind of like replace Chuyao and Feng Sun's utility a bit. But looking at Chuyao's Calamity here, as long as the new Esper doesn't have Calamity, there probably will be Esper in the future that can deal defense down and sear with a single attack and also dispel. But the Calamity is pretty much gonna be very unique for Chuyao himself. That is the only salvation for Chuyao in next year or 2 years time. Just like Gaius, Gaius already been around for like more than a year or almost 2. I think he's already around for 2 years, right? It's been a very long time since Gabriel and Gaius time. So yeah, it is debatable. Like he can be taken out from the must-have list by now, but they are still pretty much very good for early to mid game player. You don't need to build that much, and they will skip through all of the content for you, like gonna carry you throughout the game very easily. I still use Gaius just for fun because he can still kill in PvE at least. My experience is wildly different. All of the options that exist now did not exist when I started. Back when I started, Gaius was the premier as well. Then Arthur is no. Who's the best R2 for legendary Simmer PvP content? Obviously for Simmer, like currently, if you're talking about meta Esper, obviously the Wuyo, Iki, Ana Esper is going to be on top for the Simmer PvP right now. But if you're talking about Resonance 2, I don't know. I don't remember all of their Resonance 2. What are their Resonance 2? For Iki after Sleep No More. Hacking. What is Wuyo's Resonance 2? His voice is right minus 100% accurate, plus 100% ground and defense plus 10%. And then this one, 2 seconds hit, triggers 1 times per turn. I think Ana's Resonance 2 is very strong, but if you want to go with Wuyo's Resonance 2, you will never go wrong. Petros Resonance 2 is useless. And not really useless, but it's very easy to get enemy below 25%, 30% HP, so you don't really need that. When Stone Steady is active, Chaka takes 30% less damage during active turn. This is very strong. So yeah, there are a lot of contender for resonance to Shimmer Legendary, you know. So I don't really think much about Shimmer Legendary Esper because I know myself that I will never ever reach the resonance to Shimmer Legendary Esper. But Jiang Julie Resonance 2 is still pretty much really good because you cannot revive enemy that is killed in demon mode, and you get 30% of the target's attack when you kill them. So that is also good, but Jiang Julie by himself can be countered very easily. So yeah, for the other like Tower, he is pretty much only good in PvE content right now. You don't really use him in PvP, so not really something that is worthy of getting the resonance to. So yeah, I would say Ana or Wuyo or Iki or Chehe. Yeah, basically the current meta. You just pick any of which one is your most favorite one. You know. Yeah, because like you always say, damage is usually rare, but buffs and usually is actually hard to replace. If anything, Gabriel is a must-have because he is fast and they use to give immunity. He sets her passive. Oh yeah, Raven, he sets her passive. But Raven, this has the cooldown of Sunset, Sleipnir. But you need to cast your third skill. So yeah, it is really strong. It is also really strong. But Raven herself doesn't have any survivability. So if you lose in terms of speed, then Raven gonna easily die. Especially like if you have someone like Chuyao. Like one debuff from Chuyao, like Chuyao attack you and somebody else attack, Raven is already dead. She doesn't have any survivability, unlike someone like Ana, Wuyo, Iki, or Chehe. Because Iki, if you have him at Resonance 1, like he has another life, you know. But yeah, Gaius doesn't have any utility. The thing is that it is not really that Gaius doesn't have utility, because most of the time his shield for me do save a lot of my allies. Because his shield is dependent on his attack. Like sometimes, like in a lot of situation, like his shield alone can save me from certain doom. But yeah, he is yeah, I would take him out from the must-have. Like currently he is very easily replaceable. His only salvation is that, like I said, he deals percentage HP damage, so you can still pretty much use him in any content, because the stronger the enemy is, the stronger his damage is gonna be. But because he only deal damage, like, you know, his only other benefit, like I said, is that he is very easy to use for early to mid game players. He is still pretty much your go-to choice if you want to skip through a lot of content. Like how I would always gonna recommend people to max your Jiangman first when you first start the game. And my next recommendation for Legendary Esper, like if anybody asks me who you gonna take among all these Legendary Esper to be your very first Legendary Esper, I will say Gaius, definitely. You know, do you want to you know, what to say? Do you want to disagree on me on that? Yeah, that is my take on Gaius. You know, like if I were to choose only one among all these Legendary Esper to be my very first Esper to get me through the game, to carry me through the game, yeah, I would say Gaius. Definitely. Take him first, get him to level 60, and that's it. You're gonna have an easy time playing this game. Yeah, but again, like I said, like if it is damage, he can only deal damage. Obviously, that's why you can say that he is easily replaceable right now, because he only deal damage. You know, so you know where I got my you know, decision or an analysis on whether an Esper is very much you know, valuable for my Wishstone or not, is because of that. You know, someone who can only deal damage can be replaced easier than someone who brings a lot of utility into your lineup. Like until now, Gabriel is the fastest supporter, one of the fastest supporter that you can have. Like if only Gabriel have the same speed as Chu Yao, like she's pretty much gonna be a really strong contender against Chu Yao. But because she loses to Chu Yao, like you cannot protect your lineup before the enemy Chu Yao kills you. But if the enemy doesn't have Chu Yao, you can pretty much rely on Gabriel to save your teammate from getting one-shotted. So that's the utility I'm talking about. Like currently, the only way Gabriel is going to be replaced in the future is if someone else get 3 turns immunity, because something that is up until now is irreplaceable for Gabriel is that she gives permanent immunity to all of her allies. You know, the 3 turns immunity is insanely strong. Yeah, that's the utility that I was talking about. But the game, sure, she's a Yumi counter. Gabriel is a Yumi counter. Yeah, exactly. So that's why. Don't forget about your old Esper, you know, because your old Esper usually sometimes will be your answer in countering the newer Esper. And if the newer Esper already have a counter, if they only able to deal damage, so I will not gonna pull those Esper. Just like Chehe, you know, when Chehe comes out, I already know how to counter her, so I'm not pulling her. Just like Mavis, when Mavis first came out, I already have my Intisar. So I didn't pull Mavis when she first came out. I pulled Archibald instead, you know. And that's what makes me able to find out Archibald and Javid combo. And then when, who else that I didn't pull because they are, I can already see their counter. Yeah. So that's my decision, basically, when I'm pulling Esper. Immunity with permanent uptime. I think the pink Esper can do it, but it's still not as good as Gabriel Imo. Yeah. Because no matter if Eugene is able to give permanent immunity, the thing is that your Esper is too paper to be able to survive just from immunity. That's why the defense up from Gabriel is very much needed, because of the defense up and also the attack down, you are able to maximize your immunity and protect your allies even further. So just by giving immunity is not enough. And also because her other ability doesn't help you at all, you know. So when I'm talking about if in the future there will be an Esper with 3 turns immunity, obviously they should bring something else to the table. If it is only your utility, like 3 turns immunity, obviously Gabriel is still on top. Like, why do I want another Esper who can bring 3 turns immunity if I already have Gabriel who gives me 3 turns immunity? Yeah. Probably someone who can give me 4 turns immunity gonna be better than a 3 turns immunity, but it is also debatable. Yeah. So yeah, that is my take on how valuable Esper is. So in terms of value in here, like Meta Liling and Meta Yunchuan, obviously utility-wise, Meta Yunchuan is on top, better than Meta Liling because of the immovable object helping your allies. But like I said, I haven't seen a situation where my DPS getting blocked by Yunchuan and cannot kill his allies, so I haven't got into that part yet. But I would say that currently my Intisar still have no problem killing her target with even with immovable. Probably because I haven't seen a resonance to Yunchuan, Meta Yunchuan in all the enemies that I fight. maybe if I see a resonance to Meta Yunchuan, then I will have trouble. But before that, that time comes, then I still have no problem against Meta Yunchuan. And for Meta Liling, the only utilities he has is, yeah, obviously the Seer is there. But aside from that, his utility that is really, really good is this one. What is it? The one that makes him able to, each time this ability is cast, Liling's damage plus 25% throughout combat, maximum 5 times. This is 125% final damage increase, which is insanely strong. So I wouldn't expect any Esper to have this in the near future. So if you can have a long fight, definitely Meta Liling is comparable to Elif in terms of damage, because Elif do the same thing but with debuffs. You know, the is it the debuff? The debuff. Where is the debuff? What is the debuff? Fervor. Yeah, this one. Yeah, this one. The Fervor is the one that makes Elif comparable to Liling. This is what makes Elif still a preferred Esper compared to Liling, because the Fervor not only increased Elif's own damage, but also every other Esper that attacks the same target with Elif. So in terms of value, Fervor is much better than Liling's own final damage increase. But still, the Liling's final damage increase is insanely high. So yeah, that is his value. But again, like I said, if it is only a damage value, then he is replaceable. Much easier than someone who has utility. It's 3 times utility plus extra utility for gameplay. Yeah. Is it worth getting R0 Elif? Yes, if you are able to get Elif's Divinate until level 3. So if you cannot get Elif Divinate until level 3, then don't get Elif. So her worth is only on her Divinate. I can show you in here. Let me see. Do I have Elif in here? No. Do I have Elif in here? Do I have Elif in here? No. Yeah, I need to change my team, which gonna take time. How I'm gonna, this one I need defender. I cannot show you this one. This one gonna be on phase 1 the whole time, right? I think I can show you Elif in here, but I need to take some time into making my own team for that. Let me see. Oh, there it is. There is Elif there. Yeah. So we're gonna swap this to the top so that you can see Elif 5 from the side. So that is it. So this is Elif Resonance 0 with Divinate 3. Now that is her strength. Oh yeah, I forgot to turn on the volume. It is on the setting. But yeah, look at this. Here. Because the enemy get this, for damage taken plus 2%. At the end of the character's turn, clears this effect and takes 2 damage. 2 damage per stack, 1% maximum HP makes 10 stacks. So yeah, the fervor increase damage taken. And the more Elif move, the more she hits the enemy, the more this fervor gonna stack. And this increase my Liling's damage even further. You know. So this is my lineup. And the thing about Elif is that if Elif casts her third ability, it dispels all the enemy's buffs. And so if the target is a boss, you can pretty much rely on Elif to dispel those immunity on this Dark Star Lord. So she is really good to bring in here, even without the resonance to Elif. So you can see here, I'm not using Elif as the main DPS, but I'm using her to be a secondary DPS side by side with my Meta Lily. So both of them together can deal like, a serious amount of damage, because I'm also putting Feng Sun in here, and Feng Sun is the trigger for Elif's third skill, because you don't need her at Resonance 2 to be able to make use of her pursuit attack. Basically every time she moves, she gonna pursuit attack, and every time Feng Sun casts his third ability, she gonna pursue. And because I have Lu Shang in here, Feng Sun gonna be able to spam his third ability more often, calling Elif more often, and yeah, basically Fatum Sister is there for the captain, and then speed buff and also defense up and heal, So yeah, this is how I use my Elif as a secondary DPS, not the main DPS if you don't have her at Resonance 2. Because the only advantage of Elif at Resonance 2 is that she now deals true damage, which is insanely strong, But even before that, if you have her at Resonance 0, her damage is comparable to any other DPS esper. Not so good, but also not so bad, So you can make use of her Fervor debuff to increase your actual main DPS damage. Now this is my Sloan team. So again, like Sloan for most player, they're gonna tell you that she is only available to use if you have her at Resonance 2. But you can actually counter her freezing using Sally. If you have Sally in the same team together with Sloan, then if Sally casts her third ability, then every time your ally move, they gonna dispel their freezing status. So you can counter Sloan's disability by just bringing Sally. And also if Sally uses her second ability, you can also cleanse all of your allies' frozen debuff. So that's the way to make use Sloan using her Resonance 0, And also because Sloan deal extra damage if you make her do pursuit attack, so obviously you're gonna pair her up together with Liam and also Chu Yao just like I have in my team here. So this is my Dark Star Lord Sentinel Hunt team. You can see the score later on. Luckily in Sentinel Hunt, the fight doesn't last that long, because after you deal 2 million damage to the boss, they gonna go berserk. So unless you have someone like Feng Sun, someone like Elif, someone who can deal pursuit attack, then there is no way you can survive for that long if you are a free-to-play player. So obviously, if you are a pay-to-win players, like you can go into tens of millions of score, but it is for another time. Like it is for a special case. If you can survive getting hit by the enemy's damage like just now, usually the one that can survive that is someone like Sakura, someone like Dian. If you bring them, you can get your allies to survive for very, very, very long. But you do want to exploit the pursuit attack of your main DPS Esper in order to deal as much damage before you go down. So yeah, this is my score on Esper here. Look at that. This is Elif damage. This is Resonance 0. This is Resonance 0. Definite 3 Elif. And then this is team 2. That is Loan. And that is Brewster and Sujay in the third team here. Yeah, that is my Dark Sentinel, Dark Star Lord Sentinel team. I only have 270 Wisstones, and I don't know what to do next patch. Bitao, Elif, Chuyao, who to pick. I just get Bitao to Resonance 0 first. get Vital to Resonance 0. Obviously, you need him. And for the Resonance 1 or the next Resonance, yeah, you can choose whether you want Ellie or Chuyao. I recommend don't go higher than Resonance 0 for Vital. If you have limited amount of wish stones, just pick something else. Because like you said yourself, Vital is already really good even at Resonance 0. So yeah, I guess I've already streamed for too long. So yeah, it's already getting 2 hours. So I guess the analysis is done. Yeah, we've already seen all this, the past analysis. Normally new as for fusion, the weekly base loot limit for main license is that Lu Shang, Yu Jing, Li Ling. To increase this limit. What? Okay. This is the main wave. Yeah. License. Yeah. Not. I thought you can get Meta Nessa. Okay, that is the event. The one that you need to do certain quests for those experts. Not that you can get those experts. Elegy is the story, the continuation of the story, and then event echo, Vital, Elif, Javid, Vital, Chuyao, Ashley, Vital, Lushang, Jin, Yu Yao. Yeah, Elif, Chuyao, or Vital are the ones that, Elif, Chuyao, Vital, Lushang are the ones that you need to think about in those options. Flash, Union Shop, blah blah blah, and we sticker, rules, let's display. Okay, so that's it for tonight's stream, guys. So PTS tomorrow, PTR tomorrow. Yeah, hopefully if tomorrow I check my PTR and we already get a BTAU in the mail, then I'm gonna do the PTR testing tomorrow. So because tonight I already checked in my PTR account and we didn't get the BTAU yet, so I cannot test him tonight. So that's it for tonight's stream, guys. So thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Alright, have a good night. Thanks for the stream. I only missed out. Yeah. So yeah, once I close this stream, you can watch the replay. So yeah, bye bye.